everyone, so today I thought we'd do a different style of video. Today I thought we would do a bit of a sort of catch up really, because I realised that since starting my channel I've never actually done a bit of a sit down, get to know me style sort of vlog. So I thought this would be a really good opportunity to do that. And I thought one of the best ways of maybe getting to know me would be to find out how I met my now husband, which still sounds so, it feels so strange to say. But yeah, so I just thought I would just do a little, you know, get to know me style sort of vlog. So welcome to the channel if you're new, welcome back if you're not. Thank you so much for clicking on this video, and let's dive in. So I am originally from North Wales, and I was training up to be an accountant and living at home. I had my own little cottage and I was doing 3 jobs, and I was dating a lot of, no, not a lot, and I was dating some people here and there, and I just never found anybody that I gelled with. I always felt like just not comfortable. I was always glad when sort of the dates were over, that kind of thing, and I realised that other people wanted to spend time with people that they liked, and I always felt at home that I didn't fit there. I knew that I wanted more. I wanted it to be busier. I wanted a busier job, career, that sort of thing. So I knew really I needed to move, and I'd always wanted to. I'd never envisioned myself living somewhere like North Wales, as gorgeous as it is, as beautiful as it is, and I do love it, and it will always be home. But yeah, I wanted a bit more, and I also wanted to meet my husband, and I felt as though, do you know what, this isn't working for me where I am. And I do firmly believe that if you're trying something and it isn't working, then it's time to change things up and make yourself uncomfortable. And I really try and push myself to do that, like every day almost. Well, even though that would probably be impossible to do it every day, but as much as possible, I always feel as though if there's something that you want, you should make yourself uncomfortable for it. So I realised I needed to move, and so I just took the plunge one day. I just put my cottage up for sale. I couldn't believe it. I mean, I'd only been in there 2 years, and so I think people were quite shocked that I was already moving. But you know, you just think it's now or never. All my friends are off with their boyfriends having a lovely time, and I wanted that as well, you know. And I wasn't working the 3 jobs. In the evening I was kind of lonely, and so I just wanted someone to chat to, basically, you know, someone to be my best friend. So yeah, I put the house up on the market, and whilst it was sort of on the market, I started to look for other jobs, and I found one and sort of interviewed for that, and luckily everything just kind of crossed over. So I was going through the interview process, and I was lucky enough to get one of the jobs that I had applied for. Actually, I think it was the only one I applied for in Manchester, so it really was lucky. It was actually only a temporary contract as well. It was only for a year's cover, to be extended to 18 months. But I thought, this is it. I really liked the feel of the company, and I just thought, you just got to do it. You've got to do it. The house sale is going through. Well, also I thought that things would be moving much faster than they eventually did move. And I thought that the good thing about it was I was moving to Manchester, and I could commute if the house sale didn't go through at the right time, which it did not. So I did spend about 3 months commuting every single day, 5 full days a week, because it was before lockdown, to Manchester and back. And but obviously in the meantime, whilst my house sale eventually started to go through, I needed to find somewhere to live. And I realised that in Manchester I didn't know anyone, I didn't have any friends, and I didn't feel, I've never been somebody that wanted to rely solely on one group of friends. You know, say if I made friends in work, which I did not, but say if I'd made friends in that workplace, I wouldn't have wanted to just have those friends. You know, I think it's nice to have sort of people that you're friendly with in work, and then some friends that maybe, I don't know, you exercise with, that sort of thing, because I think it's nice to have lots of perspectives, lots of groups of people to be available, especially when you're single. I think it's really important to have a broad friendship group, because I think if you're trying to fill your time, you don't want to be sat at home, that sort of thing. So anyway, I found a house share, and it was with 11 people. Well, I'd be the 11th person, and I remember I'd been on Spare Room for ages and looking, and some people had replied and then other people hadn't, and then some were just not quite the right fit, and I was starting to get a bit disheartened. Anyway, this one day after work I'd booked this viewing for this 11-bed house, and it was a mixture. I always wanted a mixture because I think all girls, I mean, I'm here for the women, but all girls in one house, I could imagine it getting a bit tense. I think you need guys in there to sort of make things a bit more relaxed. So anyway, I went round it and I just knew straight away. It was like I had this feeling, and I just was so excited. It's so hard to put into words. I don't know what it was that I knew. I only met 2 people from the house, but straight away I was like, this is going to be the best place for me. This feeling just came over me. When you read those positivity books, which I have, and sometimes I just feel like I don't know what you're saying and it doesn't work for me. But I walked into that house and I knew, and I was like, I'm going to meet my husband here. And then, I mean, the reality sort of kicked in, and I was thinking, of course you're not. That's such a bizarre thing to think. I'm such a romantic. I thought, that's just me being me. Anyway, I could not wait to move in. And as soon as I moved in, it wasn't easy at first. I used to get so nervous. I would wait to go and eat dinner downstairs because I was so scared. And I was really nervous talking to people and that sort of thing. But obviously eventually you get there, and I can be a bit private at times as well. When I'd first come in from work, I actually don't want to see someone. I wanted to run off to my room, have a few minutes, and then come downstairs and meet everybody in person and chat to people. But it was really good for somebody like me. As an introvert, which I think I probably am. I love being social, but I do find that I desperately do need sort of alone time before and after it. I find it sometimes a bit tiring, despite the fact that I love it. So I find that I do need to push myself to do things maybe a bit more than someone who's a bit more of an extrovert. But I know when I get there I'll love it, and so it was really, really good for me, because I don't know if I would have found such close bonds with people in a more natural way. I don't know if I've ever been a natural friend maker. But anyway, yeah, and one of the people that was living there was Chris, who is now my husband. And luckily I had just gotten out of a very rubbish relationship anyway as I got there, and I wasn't sad about it at all. Everyone kept saying, are you fine? And I was, because what was there to be sad about? I used to just feel sick all the time. So it was brilliant. Felt like a weight had been lifted. But yeah, and then so Love Island, weirdly, was the thing that bonded everybody together, because I always used to watch it, and everyone at the house was like, are you okay? So I said, no, we've all got to come, and there was a communal area. I was like, we've all got to watch it together, come on. And everyone was sort of like, no, we don't watch that here, we all just do our own things, whatever. But as much as I'm an introvert, I also do planning these sorts of things. So I was like, no, come on. So that's exactly what we did. We all sat down at 9 o'clock and watched Love Island the first night. And obviously it used to be on every night. And then it happened the second night. And before we knew it, the boys, the people who said that they wouldn't want to watch it, were the first downstairs watching it, sat ready at 9 o'clock. We'd make cups of tea and get biscuits and things like that. And it was really, really nice. And then Chris and I think we hung back once or twice, and we'd had a few conversations just around and about. At the time I was doing my exams, so studying for my accountancy qualification, and so I was studying during the day on a Saturday, and I'd come down to make a cup of tea and Chris would be there, and we'd have these really nice conversations. And I remember just thinking, wow, you're such an easy person to talk to. I really, really love talking to you. And then it sort of progressed from there. Sometimes then we'd go and do our shopping together, that kind of thing. And then after Love Island, we would stay and sit on the couch and just talk for hours. And then it just kind of grew from there, and it was really nice. I was really scared at first, because I thought, you live here and everything else is, you know, all your other relationships end up in a bit of a failure, you know, why not this one? But I just felt like I didn't not want to do it, and so I just thought, take a chance, it's so worth it, and it was. So I would say to anybody that is like ever nervous about it, like what if it doesn't work out, it's like, well, but what if it does? And if it doesn't, it'll always be okay, but it'd be awful if you missed out. You know, it's definitely not worth risking not doing, I think, personally. And when things don't work out, I feel like it's never as bad as you think it is. And it makes for an interesting story, and it rounds you off as a person. You always learn something from it. And nothing ventured, nothing gained. I feel like I want to have an interesting life. And so I just always feel like going full force into things that probably aren't always the right fit, and maybe I rush into things sometimes, but I think better to have just put yourself out there and given it a go, rather than being at home wishing you had done. It's sort of similar to me starting the YouTube channel. I just really always wanted to do it for a while, and I just thought, well, what harm can it do? And you know, I love doing it, so I'm so glad that I have done it, and now, you know, I feel much more confident doing it too. So yeah, that is how we met. And then after living at our shared house for a number of months, we decided it was probably time to maybe move out. We weren't sure about, see, I sold my house, so I did have a deposit for a house if we wanted to buy one, but obviously whilst we had kind of lived together, well, pretty much at the house anyway, we knew that maybe it would be a good idea to rent somewhere, so we rented a flat, and only 3 months after moving into that flat, it was lockdown. So we had a very sort of like an intense start in a way, but I remember at the end of lockdown thinking, we've lived in this tiny flat where I have worked in the kitchen off of, you know, my desk, which was the dining room table, and we've never really lived together before, and it was just really nice. It wasn't an issue at all. It wasn't tense or anything like that. And so that was kind of it. I feel like as soon as we moved in, it was just us. We were just us straight away. We were comfortable straight away. And that was pretty much it. I mean, a couple of years later, no, a year and a half later, that's when we started to look for a house, which is this house. And it's just been great ever since. We had our daughter, Ophelia, who's actually at the childminders at the moment. That's the reason I've got a bit of a moment to do this. And we got married in August. So that was pretty much the story of how we got together. I hope that you found that interesting. It gave a bit of a backstory about me as well, and how I have become, I was about to say, how things all started. Who knows where we'll end up? Who knows where we'll live in the future? I mean, I am actually putting roots. I feel sort of rooted to Manchester now. I've made some really nice friends here, and I do feel comfortable here. But I'm also open to anything. You know, if Chris were to say he wanted us to move to America tomorrow, maybe not forever, but I feel like I just want to give everything a go. If there's ever an opportunity, I want to throw myself at it. So who knows? Watch this space. I'm hoping that my YouTube channel will be a success, and that maybe this will enable us to move to different places, do different things. I don't know. Either way, we want to travel a lot and give our daughter everything as much as possible. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. I really enjoyed doing that. I'm going to do a couple more of this sort of thing in the future. So if there's anything that you ever want to know, just let me know in the comments. So I will see you in the next one. Bye guys.